Hello everybody and welcome back to another AOR Season 16 highlights video here for round number 14, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. And coming into this after a pretty poor run of form recently, we did actually get our 5-second penalty at Belgium removed, which promotes us up into P7 around there. But obviously before that we had Hungary in P6 after a difficult race, and then before that we had 2 rounds outside the points due to no fault of our own. So coming into this P5 in the championship behind Williams, Alex in P4, and then Deagle, Lucas and Michael in the top 3 as well. So quite a way off the top of the standings now, but still I'm going to give it my all to see where I can come this season. But here at Monza, it's not really, I've never been too strong around here, even from games such as F1 2012. I've always struggled around here, but when I was practicing for this race, my pace was actually really strong, especially in the race, because once again my setup was more based towards the race than it was in qualifying. So I was hoping to just qualify as high up as possible, and then I knew my race pace was pretty decent to hopefully try and fight for a podium around here. But you can see here currently in qualifying we are in P8 after our first run. This is our second run right now, and we're currently on a pretty decent lap. You can see Lucas has done a 18.5 already, and I think my PB throughout practice was an 18.6, so I was aiming for something around there, and if we can do that then that'll be fairly decent. You can see we're getting a little bit of a slipstream there off Alberto. So we're currently on course for around 18.6, which is where we want to be, and this is only our second run, so we still have another chance to improve. So heading towards the line, currently in P8. Where are we going to go? As we now cross the line, we do an 18.696, which puts us in a provisional P3, only 1/10 off Lucas's time. And you can see now moving on, we're currently in P4, and this is now me preparing for my last, well, not my last lap. I still have enough time to go for another one if this one doesn't go quite to plan, but this is our final run anyway, so let's see what we can do on this lap. And you can see we've actually got Curly behind us, who I think was sort of getting a slipstream off me. I didn't really expect him to be that close, but it's going to hamper him in the middle sector, but he's going to get quite a bit of a slipstream down some of the straights around here. So you can see gaining a little bit of time there on our previous best time through the first chicane, so we're currently half a tenth up, heading towards the second chicane. I knew sectors 2 and 3 on my last lap I pretty much nailed. I couldn't really have gone too much quicker. I knew I lost quite a bit of time in sector 1 on that 18.6 that I did, so I know it's going to be pretty hard to beat it on this lap considering how good my sector 2 and 3 were. But you can see we're ever so slightly up on that time at the moment as we now head out of Lesmo 2 onto the back straight here, opening DRS and heading towards the Ascari. You can see Curly is still getting the slipstream off me, which is definitely going to be a benefit around a track like this, so he might well end up in front of us on the grid. But you can see heading around Ascari right now, taking that fairly nicely, getting a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, and we are pretty much dead equal with our previous best time, so we need to try and gain as much time as possible through the Parabolica here. So into Parabolica we take that pretty nicely, but get quite a bit of understeer there on the exit, and we go slightly wide, not really too wide, but you can see we're slightly off our previous best time. We did 18.7, so we're not able to improve, and you can see that was good enough in the end for P7 on the grid. Only 2/10 off pole, with Deagle, who's now Williams, Jim Roy, on pole position. So let's see what we can do here from P7 as we round up to the 5 red lights here for the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go, and the start is actually fairly decent there off the line. It wasn't too great, but you can see Flying Finn has got an absolutely amazing start, and he's going around the outside already, heading towards turn number 1. We're kind of boxed in a little bit here, and Flying Finn's gone around the outside already into about P5 there as we get slightly hit from there from behind. But you can see in P8, so we've lost 1 position off the start already, and I know that my pace will most likely be quicker than Curly, so we've got to try and get past him as quickly as possible. So heading towards the second chicane, going around the outside here on lap 1, going around the outside of the chicane. We have to avoid though Jarno in front, because I was desperate not to get any kind of front wing damage, and that's actually allowed Tim Palm to go around the outside into P8, so we've lost 2 positions there off the start, and we are now down into P9. And I think mainly I probably wouldn't have hit Jarno there, but I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want to get any kind of front wing damage on lap 1, so I took a bit of evasive action, and that's lost me a position to Tim Palm. And obviously Flying Finn at the start got an absolutely amazing launch off the line, and I think he was in about P5 from P9 on the grid, so a good start from him. But you can see already challenging Tim Palm in front, and he's made a little bit of a mistake there out of Ascari, and we've actually now got to run on him towards the Parabolica here on lap 1. So going down the inside here, this should be a pretty straightforward move. We can make the move on the brakes, but you can see we brake a little bit too late there, and we've locked up the right front, and that allows Tim Palm to get the cut back, and he's made contact with us there on the exit, and that's pushed us wide, and that's allowed Alex now to go through into P9. So we've lost 3 positions here on this first lap, going from 7th to 10th, and considering starting P7 is obviously not great in itself. To lose 3 positions off the start like that is quite frustrating when I know my pace, well, my race pace anyways, was pretty good. So I was hoping to try and pick off these guys one by one, because I know if I can stick with the leaders then I could be in a good position here. But you can see, just like lap 1, we had to avoid the car in front, and I think Alex braked pretty early into that corner there, so I had to avoid him just once again not to get any kind of front wing damage, and that's actually given us a corner cutting warning already. And yeah, once again I think it was just maybe a little bit too late on the brakes from me, but I'm not really too sure. But you can see here at the end of lap 5 we have good pace, as you see there, with the fastest lap setting a 22.1, which is really good pace. And now we're already going for a move on Alex down the inside of turn number 1 to go through into P9, and next up is Tim Palm. But you can see the leading group is pretty much the top 10. No one's broken away from the field at all, and it's getting absolutely crazy up front right now. It's going to be a massive group at this rate here towards the end of lap 7. You can just see the leaders are not too far in front. They're about 2 seconds in front of us here, so we're still in the fight despite being in P9. So as long as we can stay clean and try and pick off these cars one by one and not get any penalties, then hopefully we can try and still be in a position to fight for a podium. But we go down the inside here of Tim Palm. You can see it's absolute chaos in front as Tim Palm pushes us wide there on the exit of the second corner. I thought that was a little bit rude from him there, but maybe he got oversteer or something. Maybe it was desync, I'm not really too sure, but we weren't able to get the move done anyway. And you can see having to take this pretty cautiously, getting another warning there around turn number 1. So we've got to be careful now, because if we get one more then we're going to get a penalty. But you can see just how close the leading group is. It's basically 10 cars separated by about 3 or 2 seconds, so very, very close. Once again, looking to the inside there of Tim Palm, I think Flores was already starting to struggle on his super soft tyres, even though it's fairly easy one stop. Although saying that, it's pretty difficult on laps 10 and 11 with the super soft tyres, so that's one of the reasons why I changed my setup to be more based around the race. But you would have seen there around the Scurry we actually got our third warning, which has now given us a 3-second time penalty, which is not good news for our race to have one already at this stage. We've got to be, well, we just got to put up with that now and try not to get another one later on in the race. But you can see already Tim Palm is going for a move on Flores, and we should be able to try and get the move done on Flores. We've done that already, and we might be able to get the pair of them here. It's going around the outside of Tim Palm now towards turn number 1. We've tried to get the move done, but we're not quite able to get the move done. But one of the reasons why, well, the main reason why the front group was so close there in the first stint was because around here it's so difficult to pull away with the fact that you can sit behind in someone's slipstream and DRS and literally just save your ERS and fuel, and it allows you to stick with them fairly easily. So that's why it was so close like that, and it's impossible to pull away on this game around tracks like Monza and Spa and quite a few others, because the effect of the slipstream and the DRS is probably a little bit too strong, because you literally cannot pull away. Maybe the dirty air is probably a little bit too weak on this game, but we all have to put up with it. We're all in the same situation anyway, and it's enabled us to stick with the leaders anyway in this race, so I'm not complaining at all. But you can see Alex has actually jumped us there because he pitted the lap earlier, so he's probably going to struggle with his tyres more towards the end of the race. But I knew already that I'm quicker than Alex, so I knew straight away I've got to try and get past him as quickly as possible if you want to be with a chance of a good result around here. So in the slipstream of Alex towards the second chicane. Our tyres are still cold at this stage, but we're going to go down the inside here on the brakes into the second chicane. We go up the inside and we go through into current P13. I'm not sure what the provisional position was out of the cars that had pitted, but yeah, it's good. It's fairly decent compared to where we were at the end of lap 1 anyway. So next up, you can see here on lap 15 we've got Curly and Tim Palm in front, and I did sit behind both of them for quite a few laps trying to save some fuel in ERS. I couldn't really get a good enough run out of the Parabolica to challenge him down the straight, but you can see on this lap we've now got that chance, and Tim Palm kind of squeezes us over towards the left hand side there of the track as he goes for the move there on Curly. But we could have maybe gone for a move on the pair of them there, but there wasn't quite enough room. I didn't want to take the risk at this stage in the race, but Tim Palm has gone through on Curly anyway, and you can see now we've got to try and get the move done on Curly as well. But he's still got the DRS of Tim Palm in front, so it's going to be pretty difficult to get the move done. But let's see what we can do here at the start here of lap 17. Currently in P10. I think there's still a couple of cars yet to pit, but looking to the inside here of Curly towards turn number 1, we fake it to the inside and he almost hits Tim Palm there, braking way too late, and I actually thought they were going to collide into each other there, but Curly just about got it stopped. And now onto the next lap. Once again, we've got another opportunity to try and get the move done, this time going down the inside here of the first chicane, going side by side, making a little bit of contact now, and it's just very, very difficult to get two cars around that first chicane, and we're not quite able to get the move done. But I knew we've got to try and clear Curly as quickly as possible, but it's going to be difficult with the fact that he has the DRS in front from Tim Palm. But once again, looking to the inside here of the second chicane, I knew I was quicker, so I wanted to get through, because I felt like if I can get in front of him, then I can drag us both up towards Tim Palm and then hopefully towards the leading group after that. But not able to get the move done, as once again we're going to try and get the move done on him now. DRS, slipstream, ERS and overtake as well, and we're looking to the outside here of a scurry chicane. We go around the outside but running a little bit wide there, almost making contact with him. We're losing a lot of time through this now, and that's now enabled Alex to go right onto the back of the pair of us here. And we don't want to lose another position right now, so we're going to save ERS, make sure we get DRS down the pit straight, and hopefully, seeing now as Curly is not in the slipstream of Tim Palm or the DRS, we should be able to get this move done this time round, and then hopefully with my pace being fairly decent to try and catch the cars in front with 8 laps remaining. But you can see down the straight now, fairly easy move this time to go down the inside of turn number 1 into P7, and it's pretty frustrating to be in positions like this, considering my race pace was probably good enough to fight with the leaders again. It just shows that I've got to sort out my qualifying on this game, because all season I've been struggling. I've only been in the top 5 in qualifying once this season in AOR, and that was Bahrain with P3 on the grid, and then since then I've always been outside the top 5, so yeah, I definitely need to improve that. But you can see we caught Tim Palm up very, very quickly, and we faked it to the inside. We did a little dummy there on him that time round to go through into P6, and originally there on that lap I wasn't actually going to go for a move, but I saw the opportunity, so I thought my pace is better, I may as well go for the move this time, and I got the move done. So into P6, and now you can see Lucas in front, who I think he had damage. Actually, yeah, I think he did have damage. I think he had hit the back of Deagle, which gave him front wing damage. So he's starting to struggle now, so this should be a pretty decent move. He was up with the leaders fighting for the win, I believe, so since his damage he's just struggled, and yeah, we should be able to pretty easily get through here. Setting a personal best lap of the race as well with a 21.7, easily getting through now into P5 on Lucas, and next up is Yano, and we've also got that 3-second penalty unfortunately, but I'm not sure how many penalties the cars around me have, so I was just going to make sure I pushed from now to the line to try and extend a 3-second gap to the cars behind. But you can see Lucas, despite his damage, is still trying to get us back here towards the second chicane, so he's going towards the outside line here, but there's nowhere really for him to go, and we hold on to the position there in P5. Yano's not too far in front, so if we can get in his DRS, maybe we can take P4 off him, which would be a pretty decent result considering the first lap and how difficult it was, like the poor first lap that we had, and being mired down in the pack once again. As you can see here, sticking to the left hand side down this straight just to try and break the slipstream, because it's just so powerful, and I wanted to make sure I pulled away from the group behind. But yeah, Williams Alex, who was in front of me in the championship in P4, he was outside the points, so this result should promote us up into P4 in the championship, which obviously isn't where we want to finish, but it's fairly decent damage limitation, and it's quite a big gap still in front to the top 3. You also would have seen there at Scari that I very nearly cut the corner, and I was actually on my second warning, so I nearly got another 3-second time penalty there on the last lap. But you can see Deagle's actually off to the side there. He made a little bit of contact with Flying Finn, I think, and he spun, and that's now put us up into P4 as we cross the line. But unfortunately our penalty has put us back down into P5 now in the results. So P5 here at the Italian Grand Prix, not too bad, but could have been a lot better, and hopefully in the next few races where they're good tracks for me, hopefully I can try and get quite a few podiums. But I will see you very soon. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.